YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy Manu here from the Madden Academy, and look, I'm not going to waste no more of you guys' time. We're going to get straight to it. I'm going to break down the three major gameplay points in Madden 23, and at the very end, I'm going to tell you one key thing you must do before Madden 23. So, if you guys haven't already, I'll drop the link below, but EA dropped news or an article on all the gameplay points. So, spot drop zones was the first one they broke down. So this year in Madden 22, if you had your coaching adjustments set to default, meaning those flat zones, those curl flats, those hooks set to default, what would happen is your defenders would match at the start of the play. So basically what match is I consider it delayed man coverage. So the outside cornerback is going to say, hey, this receiver is closest to me. The safety is going to say, okay, the outside cornerback has that guy. I'm going to man up to the guy that he doesn't have. That's the simplest way to explain match. If you didn't put on your zone drops, like set them to 20, 25, then your players would match. So basically what this spot drop zones is, now your guys aren't going to automatically match at the start. So if you come out on a cover 3, your outside third is going to drop back, 20, it's going to drop all the way back, right? Whereas in Madden 22, if you had your guys on the fault, they would match at the start and play like a drag underneath, right? And it was confusing. Second thing is the route specific break on throw logic. So EA always does this every single year where, oh, I'm going to make the deep blues a lot more aggressive. They're not going to be as aggressive. So in Madden 22, the reason why deep blues were so bad is, not only did they not drop back to guard the deep bombs, but they didn't play the crossing routes either. So again, I don't mind. So basically what they're saying is those outside thirds and outside quarters that are designed to guard the deeper portions of the field, right? And an outside quarter specifically, it's supposed to guard those outside crossing routes or those deep crossing routes. And they just didn't. Not only did the outside quarters not guard crossing routes, but they didn't guard the deep bomb either. So, and by the way, one pro tip, if you want to guard those deep bombs, deep halves are your best chance on your outside cornerbacks. But, I'm kind of excited to see how these deep blues play. If they do actually play aggressive on the crossing routes, that would be great, because at least one of the two is covered, because again, this year it's just, you're going to give up a touchdown to a deep skinny post anyways, and they don't guard the crossers. So if they can get them to play really aggressive, on the crossing routes at least, I consider that a win. The next major point is the new end zone coverage logic. And I know a lot of you right now are so confused or are pissed playing Madden 22. Once people get to the 5, the 10, or a lot of people will even go for 2. They run that corner route play off the back of the end zone and trips tight end. So basically what this is saying is the outside quarterbacks are now going to actually play their zone. They're going to stick towards the outside. So on Madden 22, what would happen is these outside quarterbacks, they would see an in route on the outside and they would just get sucked inwards. So it would give up these corner routes towards the back of the end zone. So in Madden 23, what they're saying is those outside thirds are now going to play the back of the end zone and they're not going to get sucked in. But the major thing is, it doesn't matter what they claim. I got to see the evidence, right? Because, they make these claims every year, but they don't always follow through. So I'm curious to see which of their claims actually, comes to fruition. And I know this is what you guys have been waiting for, but what you need to be doing before Madden 23 launch is, I would say, go back and play a little bit of current gen. I've been doing that for the past 4 months. The reason being is, so when we went from PS3 to PS4 Madden, or old gen Xbox to new gen Xbox like 5 years ago, right? So that on that first Xbox, or that new gen Xbox, the first Madden, I believe it was Madden 25. Again, the movement was absolutely terrible, just terrible. So what EA, and for my business majors or business people, it's a UVP, but EA's major selling point for people to buy the new game is, oh man, we got this revolutionary movement system. And guys, it absolutely, let's be real, it's been terrible every time. So, but now that the novelty has worn off, everybody has forgot, we're on new gen consoles. That's not a big deal. They usually move past that, Because this year in Madden 22, again, these guys are as stiff as a rock. When they're, they just don't accelerate. It's the root issue behind why zones get stuck inside. They have trouble accelerating to get to certain points on the field, and it's because of the movement. If you notice from Madden 21 to Madden 22, again, the movement is drastically different. So again, users could guard 3 routes at one time. In Madden 22, really, it's hard to guard one route. If you got a guy running deep on a crosser, it's hard to keep up with him. So drastic changes in the movement. But I feel like for Madden 23, my miss to see it before it happens prediction of the day is I think they're gonna resort back to old gen movement. So I do expect the movement to be a lot better in Madden 23, and I expect it to be a medium between Madden 22 current gen and Madden 22 next gen. That's where I recommend if you want to get ready for Madden 23, go back and play a little bit of current gen Madden 22. I feel like it'll be pretty decent preparation. But lastly, make sure you guys like this video. If I get 10 likes, I'll do another reaction to a trailer. And I'm going to have more gameplay focused breakdowns once we get past this phase of with all this news coming out for the new Madden. But I am going to be doing a lot of pro gameplay breakdowns on this channel. And also, last thing, go and take your free skills evaluation at themaddenacademy.com. Again, if you're curious to see where your skills stack up versus your peers, go ahead. Link is down below. And remember, 10 likes and I'll drop another video on this field sense technology for Madden 23.